Hey everybody, we're just gonna kind of chill and chat about some things and just trying a different format, see how y'all like it, and just let me know how it is in the comments. So I still haven't gotten my Evercade EXP limited edition yet. Still no update, except for the 16th. It says it's still in the hands of customs. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that really soon. Hopefully it'll ship out this week, and I can make a video next week. But hey, if it doesn't, that's fine. I'll it is what it is. So we're still waiting on that. And I'm excited about the upcoming game of the month. Hopefully that'll be out before Evercast, and if so, you can bet we'll definitely be talking about it here. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about some speculation and whatnot. I haven't really done that in a while. And for those of you who maybe missed or just to refresh your memory of the previous Evercast where Ryan from Blaze Entertainment was on, he did talk about that we're going to be getting two new systems and two new publishers this year. So yeah, I really wanted to talk about that. That very much excites me to see what we're going to go ahead and get. So, I mean, it's no secret. I'm gonna, I think those of you out there probably know what I want as far as for a publisher. What I really want, and I want to go ahead and dive into that and kind of talk about, maybe some of the publishers that I would or wouldn't want, and why here, and then don't forget at the end of the video when you're done to go ahead and comment and share your opinions, because I'd also like to see what everyone else thinks. All right. So first, if I'm being 100% honest, if we're just going off of pure nostalgia itself, if I could have a choice of any one publisher just based upon that reason, it's going to go ahead and be SNK. Why is that? Because growing up, having a Neo Geo was the holy grail of all the consoles. It was the one console that I never had, never ever saw, never played a home AES. Only saw it on the back of catalogs. It was things of legend, right? Did go ahead and play that, in the arcades, the MVS system. Friggin' loved it. And it's just one of those things that I know I really wanted, but couldn't justify paying the cost of a Super Nintendo every single time for a game, although I know I wouldn't have been disappointed. And I mean, being perfectly honest, if I really wasn't into Street Fighter 2, if that didn't turn out being a great port, if Mortal Kombat didn't turn out being a great port, yeah, maybe that's something I might have gone with. So, if Evercade could get, or Blaze rather, could get SNK, that'd be great. But here's the thing, though. I want it to specifically be the AES version. That was the home console. I want the cover to have the AES on it. I want the booklet and everything. I want it to be plastered all over it. And for grins, it would be really neat if they could make that cart black to match the AES. I mean, think how cool that would also look in limited edition EXPs, and I don't think it would look that bad in the white edition as well, and it would also even look great, in the VS. But if I could have my choice of one publisher, that's what I would want. And yes, I know with the AES you don't get unlimited continues, but hey, that adds more replay value. Now, I wouldn't mind if Blaze is able to do this. If they're able to go ahead and get the Unibios, I don't know if that's available for a commercial license or not, but I think that would be great. Then you could change it from AES to MVS, and you could get those extra continues and whatnot. I think that would be fantastic as well, and I don't see any issues with them doing that, given the choice and all the other. There's like codes you can put in. You can do like blood modes. You can do like a lot of like really neat things with the Unibios, and that would just be icing on the cake. But I want it to be presented as an AES. I don't want it just to be like a fighting, a bunch of fighting games. I do want like King of the Fighters. I want Magician Lord. That was like one of the first games actually that I played in emulation in the arcades. I did play King of the Fighters. I did play Magician Lord. But yeah, I want it to be a good mixture, of things. Have like Windjammers and all that. Have games you could play both one player, two player. I think that would be fantastic. Now, I should mention, later on, around that early 2000s, somewhere between 2004, I want to say maybe around 2004, 2005-ish, off of eBay, I did buy a Neo Geo MVS board. It was just a single board, and it was just like put together on some like plexiglass, nothing. It was sturdy. It was sturdy enough. I think they had like Unibios, like 3.1. I think like 3.5 was the popular one, something like that. That kind of like dates it and kind of gives you the time on it here. And I love the friggin' thing. You could get games pretty cheap, $20, $30. I had a few games, and I loved it. if I'm being honest. So yeah, I do have some nostalgia for it, just primarily for that reason, because of it. And it was just really neat actually having the console, putting in those like big ass carts and whatnot. So yeah, I really would not mind, you know, having it again, so to speak. Um, that would be great. So just wanted to kind of give you some history and some reasons rather of why, I would just really want to go ahead and have that console. So that would be my first choice. I think SNK, would be awesome. I know there's a lot of people out there that would also just like really, really want SNK. And I think Pocket would still be cool. That would be the other thing too. If they did make it an AES, it wouldn't have to necessarily be an arcade cart. They could maybe throw some Pocket on there. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would even be fine for marketing if they did go ahead and just do MVS and they're like, yeah, no, we really need to get the arcade on there. I would understand. I'll take Neo Geo in any form and it would be glorious. Even if there was like a special limited edition where it was like an unnumbered series and it was just black, I would take that as well. Because to get a Neo Geo nowadays is just really expensive. Yes, there's about a bazillion ways you can emulate it, and you can emulate it pretty well. But to actually have a physical cart without having to pay an arm and a leg would just be friggin' fantastic. So that's that's my choice. Now, as far as what would I think would be another great publisher for Blaze, and the next thing that comes to mind, I'm not gonna lie, it's what Blizzard Activision or whatever, Microsoft Activision, whatever you want to call them. I think it would be great if we could get a 2600 collection, and it would just have that back catalog of Activision games. I think if Blaze did that, there'd be so many people that would just want to go ahead and just to get that cart. Just for that reason, I think people would start their Evercade journey. People like myself that are God, I can be in my mid 40s this year, like nearly. I think a lot of the old farts like myself would definitely want that, and maybe some of the other folks who aren't into Atari, would open their eyes as well. I know maybe that wasn't as popular over in the UK, so that would that could be a good thing. People could play games that they've never played before. That would be a huge get and a game changer. I really would like to be able to play the Activision collection on a portable device, on a physical cart, get a clearer screen than what I have on my Game Boy Advance. I have that collection, but hey, I would even be happy for just a handful of those games. Would be fantastic. Now, that's not a new system per se, but it is a new publisher. So just wanted to throw that out there. I guess when I was talking about SNK, that that kills two birds with one stone. That's also a console we've never had and a publisher that we've never had as well. So we'll just have to go ahead and see what happens and what Blaze does. So yeah, that's definitely going to be my pick or two of my picks, I should say. Now another pick. So what I really want, because we know Nintendo, they would never be on Evercade. Never, ever, 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 ever. Nintendo is Nintendo. I'm already said, but Sega is very, very cool, and we need some first-party titles. I mean, if Blaze can get Capcom, why not? What I really, really want, though, from Sega, I mean, as much as I love the Genesis, love Sega CD, there's a bunch of those games, but Sega pretty much owns, like 90% of, like, the first-party titles for the Master System. And they're really, I don't see Sega releasing a Master System Mini right now because there's a lot of people out there aren't nostalgic for it. Hell, I remember growing up and I didn't know anyone that had it. Everyone was in a Nintendo. Unfortunately, it wasn't as popular, but it should have been. And so for me, that's a system I would love to dive into. Again, I would love to have a physical copy. It would play great on Evercade. And yeah, come on, Sega could make a fantastic cart. What I'm thinking of is, they could start off with a collection, give us like 15, 20 games, just throw a bunch of them on there, give us a bunch of like sweet first party titles, and then with that started, go ahead and give us another collection, later on. Sega's really cool about licensing stuff. At least that's what we've always heard. So yeah, if they do want to throw on more like first party Genesis titles, yeah, I'm not gonna. Of course, I'm not gonna turn that down. I think Sega CD would freaking be fantastic. That would be another system that we haven't had. That would be great. That would so really be great. But I think the one system that the Evercade community wants more than anything is TurboGrafx 16, and I can't disagree with that. Again, TurboGrafx, a lot like the Neo Geo, was one of those systems that was just elusive. Didn't know anybody that actually had it. Saw it in the back of the catalogs. I've talked a little bit about this on Evercast before. The closest that I ever got was I did have one of those rich friends, and he did have a TurboGrafx 16, and I do remember playing Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap. I didn't know what necessarily the game at the time, but I remember the art style and the graphics and everything. The one that I played, I think it was like the newest one at the time. He had that, so yeah, I haven't actually touched a TurboGrafx, the actual like home console that hooks into the TV. But yeah, the TurboGrafx Express, I gotta play that for 5 or 10 minutes. When he brought it to school, of course, to like show off and wanted everyone to play it and see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's another thing that needs to be added. Plus, in the U.S., it didn't get nearly the amount of love that it got in Japan. And there's a lot of games that never made it over here. So not only do I want to see like there's a lot of the Japanese games like shooters and whatnot, that are like really, really fantastic. You don't even have to like a lot of those games. You don't even have to know Japanese to play or like really like navigate the menu. So I would love us to see that and give us like not just Sega CD, but give us not just TurboGrafx, not just the Hue cards. Give us TurboGrafx CD because it's basically uses the same emulator, just the different BIOS. There could be a licensing issue, but imagine how fantastic that would be. Or give us like the FX. There's like 4 games on the TurboGrafx FX, and I just think that would just be like really really neat here. I want to say that like Ghost and Goblins was like one of those it's like one of those games that they ported over that we never got, and it would just be super neat to have that particular port of it because that's difficult to play. Bear with me here while the screen has gone dark. I am just trying to fix it. I am just playing here on the the OG white handheld. I probably should have gone ahead and played on the VS, but you know what? I was too lazy to move that from the TV. So we just have to kind of deal with these things. And you know what? I am perfectly okay with that. So yeah, for TurboGrafx 16, in addition to the shooters, maybe get like the first Splatterhouse. Gosh, there's just I get those kind of cool, different, weird Japanese games that we've never heard of before. How fantastic would it be for us to go ahead and just get some of those games? That would just be so much fun. And I know the community would really, really like it. Of course, licensing and all that nonsense. So yeah, but I think whatever they can get licensed. I don't think there's that many bad. There might be some bad games, but I know we're never gonna get like Jackie Chan or something like that. But still, so yeah, I know the community really wants a TurboGrafx. Now, other systems, like if we're talking computer systems, I wouldn't mind like a Z Spectrum or like an Odyssey. Oh, those would be fantastic. I've never gotten to play those. Those are really rare. And it would just be super neat to be able to actually have that in a physical cart form. So yeah, I hope that we could get more of that. Now, some runner-ups. I mean, I love Konami. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't say no to Konami. I wouldn't say no to getting, even if they like put on their like Contra and some of their games. But if we do get a Konami, I want them to put on some of their games that are like lesser known that we haven't heard of as much. But they're not going to do that. If they're going to go with that, yeah, we're going to get like our Castlevanias and everything, and that would be totally epic, and that would that would be fine too. I'd be fine with if they did a combination of Contra and Castlevanias on one cart. That would be really handy to not have to change out. But there's some of the like lesser known arcade games that are really cool. I wouldn't mind getting those as well. So I think if we were to get that. Well, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I know it would really, really help out and elevate Blaze even more, just kind of like Capcom did. So that would be another great publisher. What I really do want to see more of, though, I do want to see more indie games. I want to see more native games from other publishers that we haven't necessarily heard of. I do think that Blaze is going to continue to go the route with native games. They need to find a way to either do save states or at least back up your saves. Because since I did make that last video, for those of you who haven't seen it, I did make a video on Cathedral where my save state got corrupted, and it was totally not cool and totally not fun. And yeah, I know the community would highly benefit from that. And I think that before Blazes come out with more native games, they need to do something about that. So, anyways, maybe that would be a push, enable save states or whatnot. I don't want to ramble too far off topic. And if you haven't noticed with my voice, I am just getting over a little bit of a stuffy nose and all that. So yeah, those would be definitely some other publishers, you know, that I would go ahead and want to have here. Just trying to rack my brain and just kind of see, what else would be, who else would I really want to kind of come out here for publisher games that we haven't seen. I think something else that I would just like really like that I think would be would be super neat is kind of we had like Galeco, the arcade collection. Give us something like that. Give me another arcade collection, just that I've never heard of. Give me a publisher that I've never heard of. Yeah, it's not another system, but that would be great because I tell you these arcade cards are just super neat. Now, while we're on the topic of systems, you haven't seen yes, I'm playing the 7800, but we don't have any Jaguar games. Yeah, there's a few good ones that are on Atari 50. There may be some other ones that aren't on Atari 50 that we're missing. So yeah, Jaguar is a system that we have not had that I think would be great. Yeah, we've had Atari, but yeah, I know people won't say no to Jaguar. Give us those odd games. Give us some of those other Songbird games. That we know that are there that we just haven't seen, or give us another Lynx collection with some other games like Gauntlet. I don't think we've gotten that publisher again. I don't know what the licensing would be, but yeah, give us more. Give me more. of that other goodness. Another system that I wouldn't mind us having we haven't seen is the Wonder Swan. Yeah! Wonder Swan, was not at all popular here in the United States. Yes, it was made by the same creator of the Game Boy and all that. Who also made the Virtual Boy and left Nintendo in shame, and the Wonder Swan was his thing. So yeah, I would love some Wonder Swan. That never saw the light of day outside Japan, and really Tate mode, forget about it. We could play a lot of those games in the way they're meant to be played. Tetris, I know there's a version of Tetris that you play there on Tate mode, and countless others. And I know there's the initial black and white, but there's also color. I wouldn't mind really just having a mixture of both, and I think again that has Japanese games on it that we could play, even without speaking the language, and that would just be another like really great thing to have. Yeah, Wonder Swan. That would be pure discovery, in its own. Another collection that I wouldn't mind is that getting just a pure Japanese collection, right? Like yes, we've had that Mappy Land game that was translated, but you know what? I wouldn't mind just a collection. I know some people have mentioned this on various posts and whatnot. Just like a pure Japanese collection of games that never made it over here, outside to the States or the UK or anything else. I mean, how cool and fantastic, would that just be? So yeah, that would be another idea for a collection. But either way, I'm pumped that we're going to be getting some new systems. They're probably, if I had to guess, they're probably going to be computer systems because we know that's what Blaze has the easy, license to. Probably something like Spectrum and an Odyssey. I would not be surprised. And then publishers, realistically, Sega. Yeah, I mean that's Activision may be out there. SNK I don't know, but I think Sega would be more realistic. And if we're going with one of those other computer systems, it would probably be one of those publishers with it. I don't think TurboGrafx should even still be far fetched or far off to get. Sorry. Again, I don't know what about licensing, the BIOS and all that. How tricky that is, or it's all involved. Because that's what we know. It comes down to licensing. At least we know. As per I believe on Evercast, if I remember Ryan said, definitely not going to get something like that, like the Fairchild, because yeah, Crow brought up the controller for that. It was like nuts, and I think Crow was even saying like he had a Fairchild and sold it. Like there weren't necessarily even any games that were that were really worth owning. That's special for that. So yeah, that's where I think would really be some good choices on that. Just I just can't wait to look forward to it. We get the further announcements. As Pete kind of mentioned in the last Evercast, um, it would be fine with the Blaze if they went ahead and they announced like the rest of the, like the rest of the cards for this year, just so we know what we have. That'd be great. For all we know, they probably have all the licensing done till 2030. No, but for real though, I mean, they're just there's a huge untapped market. Um, I guess the last thing to kind of wrap things up, because I know I've been rambling on for 20 minutes, and kudos to those who have stayed with me in the video. Um, you know, Continue just to stick with me just a little bit longer, and we'll get this wrapped up before I almost forget what I want to go ahead and say. Um, ah, no, I forgot. No, I forgot what it is. But hey, that's what we kind of do. When you do things off the cuff here, and you're just rambling. But just don't leave me yet, because I know that I'm gonna go ahead and remember. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so what I would like to see more of, I know there are games like Paprium, right? I mean, that's obviously like the company is weird, so that probably won't come to the Evercade because of licensing. But I would like to see some more of these newer like aftermarket games that people really haven't heard of. I'd love to see that. Kind of just go ahead and come to Evercade. Some of these games that are a little bit more difficult to play. Maybe they're only offered as physical collections. I can't think of anything else, but like your Papriums or like lesser known games, I would just like really really like to see those. Um, you know what I want to say, like there's some version like I want to say there's some versions of some games, like I think like Vendetta might be getting ported to Neo Geo, but something like that, like some of these newer, maybe some of these newer aftermarket Neo Geo games. I mean, yeah, people might be disappointed that it's not the original Neo Geo, but I'll take whatever we can, whatever we can go ahead and just really get at this point. But that's what I'd like to see. Some of these just undiscovered games that came out in like recent years, for any of the existing systems, like Princess Quest, right? Kind of like the Princess Quest of games that are just be difficult to play. After getting a hold of original hardware, having to like hook up an Intellivision to a modern system. I mean, that's pretty difficult. Just ask, just ask Rich about that. And even if you do go ahead and emulate it, there's gonna be issues, right? Because of the controls, and Blaze has spent a lot of time getting all that figured out. That's what's kind of neat about these computer collections, and that's what I'm kind of curious to see. With that. When we do get like the Amiga, I couldn't imagine the time they had to put in like with the Intellivision collections to get all that working. So only time will tell. And again, I do appreciate you hearing me ramble on. If you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment Red Centipede. That's Red Centipede. Go ahead and comment. And that'll let me know that you made it. You made it this far in the video. Of course, if I forget that I said this, I'll be like, "Why are people saying Red Centipede?" No, but I should remember. If you could go ahead and comment below, just let me know what are your publishers that you'd be looking forward to that we haven't gotten. What consoles would you be looking forward to? Am I totally off the mark? Did I miss anything? Let me know. Do you like a format where I just kind of talk off the cuff and I just kind of chill? I just kind of play a game as I'm doing it, and just kind of just have it be all like laid back and mellow like this. So I have a game like this distract me, or do you miss like my super hyper energy? Let me go ahead and know. And hey, if you are just joining my channel and you just find me in the YouTube verse, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out. We're on our way to 1,000 subs, and I've gotten a spike in some subs recently, and also too on a weekly basis every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time, we have Evercast, a fan-made podcast where we talk everything Evercade related. I give you the latest Evercade news and all that. I talk with Evercanadian and Crow from the Crow Continuum, and my buddy Rich from Bacon Ice Cream Productions. You know, they're my friends. We have a lot of fun talking, and you're not gonna wanna, you're not gonna wanna miss that. And as always, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.